How's it going, everybody? I hope you're having a good day. Here's a question for you. What's your alone time feel like? Does it feel like isolation? Like you're cut off from everything and everybody? Does it feel like something you're sentenced to? Like you have to stuff every minute of it with something to do, otherwise you'll go crazy in the silence, just staring at the walls, living inside your own head? Or does it feel like solitude? Does it feel open, spacious, quiet in a gentle kind of way? Does it feel like it heals you? Like it refreshes you? Gives you time to be with the things that you've lived through on the other side of it? Those of us who've grown up in chaotic homes where things are unstable, arguments break out, where you have to walk on eggshells, oftentimes we learn how to withdraw. We learn to build around ourselves these two-sided walls of fear and safety. And as we get older, sometimes we keep those walls around, and they get thicker and thicker, so it's harder to step through them. And they get higher and higher, so it's harder to see over them. And oftentimes that cuts us off from the outside world. And so we find ourselves trapped inside our own isolation, even though we might desperately want to be outside of it. Sometimes we feel like we locked the door, tossed the key over the wall, and now we can't get out. You can probably tell from the background that my wife and I live in a vinyl village, and we do. It's here in southern New Jersey. We have a very small yard that's about 1/4 of an acre, and the last 10 feet of it are pretty useless. It's shaped like a slice of pizza, so in that back corner is where I keep my composter. I do quite a bit of gardening. And over the last couple of days, I've been out here working on a project where I'm fencing in an area to put up some berry beds. I've got some blackberries and some honeyberries that I'm going to be planting. And compared to the rest of our yard, the space that it takes up is pretty significant. And while I was out here working on it, really enjoying the day, the weather here has been beautiful the last few days, it suddenly occurred to me that here I am, this freaky old man, taking a good chunk of his yard and turning it over to this berry project in the middle of a vinyl village where all you see are hostas, the occasional ornamental pear tree, maybe an azalea or two. And the whole thing sort of gave me some perspective over the last couple of years of my life. There was a time when I was younger where if I sat home on a Friday night, I'd often think, what the fuck am I doing? What's wrong with me? I must be a loser. What am I doing sitting home on a Friday night? And I had to run all over the place, from party to party, from bar to bar. I'd call through my friends until I found someone who was around, find out where they were going and meet up with them. I was out at least 4 nights a week. I had to be on the run constantly. I couldn't sit home. It was painful. But that's changed a lot since my own recovery has begun to kick in as much as it has. A lot of things have fallen out of my life. I no longer have the posse of friends I did when I lived back in Northeast PA. I'm no longer on the run all the time. I no longer move from bar to bar or party to party. Some friends I only see a couple of times a year. And here's the thing, that's okay. I've learned to appreciate the space in my life. I've learned that in order for the healing to find room in my life, I had to remove the things that took away from it, the things that prevented it. And there's been kind of an interesting shift that's taken place. I spend a lot of time in the yard, cutting the grass, tending the gardens, chopping firewood, putting up raised beds. And while some of it can take a lot of time and a lot of energy, none of it feels like work. It all feels more like a practice. It feels like ceremony. And there have been quite a few other things in my life that have felt that way lately. I just spent 2 years working on a book of poetry, writing it, editing it, putting it out on Amazon. And it was a solitary thing. It was something that I had to learn along the way as I did it. And it was difficult. But it felt like I was doing some work beyond what was in front of me. It felt like I was serving the whole thing. It felt like a practice. No less a practice than the ceremonies that we gather for once a month. No less a practice than my own healing, my own recovery. No less a practice than my one-on-one work with others when I sit with them. Things have gotten a lot smaller. My circle of friends has pared down. My life is pared down. And it's okay for me to sit in the middle of it. And so it's got me thinking that maybe that's an important part of the healing process. Being able to sit silently. Being able to feel the things that have come up. Being able to grieve the things that have fallen out of our life. And also to welcome the space that losing these things opens up. And to welcome in the things that enter those spaces. Not because we've put them there, but because we've finally made enough room for them to enter in. Till next time.